Hey guys, I'm Nilanjana and welcome to Travel Food and Talk. आज का ये वीडियो होने वाला है information loaded video with regards to my Delhi to Kashmir all girls trip, and I'm going to share with you a brief overview of all the logistics, days, our itinerary so that you can plan your Kashmir trip better. And now that I've stated what this video is going to be about, I'm going to take a few more seconds of yours to tell you what this channel is about. I create content and I document my travels, which essentially are road trips, and I try and find lesser explored regions. If you are someone who loves road trips, then do stay tuned because I'm pretty sure there will be so much on this channel to keep you entertained. With that, let's proceed to the video. So we were 4 girls who traveled from Delhi to Kashmir Valley. To put things in perspective, let me show you the map. So these are essentially the places that we covered. It is where Srinagar is, Arabal is in the Pahalgam district, Pahalgam is in the Anantnag district, and the Gurez Valley is up in the north in the Bandipur region or the Bandipur district. The first thing which I want to talk about is the stay. You have a variety of stay options in Srinagar, from houseboats to 5 stars to homestays which you can book on Airbnb, and even the area where you can stay are quite a few. Like you can stay in the touristy hub, which is the Dal Lake, you can stay in the old city, you can stay in the peripheries of Srinagar. So if you go on booking.com, you will get a fair idea of what all options do you have. We, however, like I just said, I love seeing rustic and quaint properties. We chose a beautiful vintage home converted into a hotel, which is Dar Es Salam. It is on the banks of Nagin Lake, and I'm going to have a detailed property tour video coming up soon on this channel. So if you are interested, do consider subscribing and staying tuned. Besides that, in Pahalgam we stayed in an Airbnb with Brown Palace. It is a beautiful wooden cottage, very comfortable, though the toilet could be better, but otherwise pretty comfortable. And in Gurez there was only one hotel at the time that we went, which is the Kaka Palace Hotel. There are state-run guest houses in Dawar. Now let's talk about the commute. So the charges for the taxis are different for different seasons, depending on the availability, on the kind of vehicle you choose to go in. The rates and the tariffs will vary. In Srinagar, you have a lot of taxi options right at the airport. Your hotel property can book you a taxi for local sightseeing. And about Pahalgam, you will have to hire a local taxi. You will not going to be allowed to take your Srinagar taxi into the local area of Pahalgam sightseeing. For Gurez, I had booked the taxi through Kaka Palace Hotel manager, and he had given us a complete package, which means that I paid a particular amount for me to be driven from Srinagar to Gurez, local sightseeing in the local taxi in Gurez, and driving back from Gurez to Srinagar to the airport. And over and above that, I paid for the stay. I don't know if I paid extra or if I paid less, because I did not bargain and I did not even try to see if I can get any better rates, because Gurez being such a remote area, I just wanted to ensure that whoever is already living in the area should be the one to arrange for my commute and stay. For me, that mental peace was more important. So I just sort of went ahead with this booking. Now, having covered the stay, the commute, let's talk about food and shopping.
बहुत महंगा भी है, सही से रेट लगा लो। हम लगाएंगे सही से आप।
We were hungry and some wanted to shop. So there is a person rowing alongside, selling some knickknacks to my friends, and also there is a person who is going to be feeding us. We're buying some food as well.
आप ऐसा करिए, मटन कबाब 1 स्टिक कर दीजिए, ठीक है? मटन बोटी 1 स्टिक कर दीजिए। तुमको चिकन और फिश दोनों चाहिए? चिकन बोटी की भी 1 स्टिक, मतलब एक डंडी। हाँ, हमें कुछ मिक्स सा बना के दे देना।
जो मटन बोटी 1 प्लेट में पड़ता है 4 स्टिक। अगर बनाना
कबाब भी ले लेंगे हम, बोटी भी ले लेंगे, चिकन भी ले।
I am hungry, I will eat.
अरे ठीक है,
तो यूट्यूब पे डाल देना।
अच्छा, इंस्टाग्राम पे नहीं,
इसके ऊपर पे डाल दो। कमेंट्स आने चाहिए।
क्या आने चाहिए? कमेंट्स आप ही लोग करेंगे कमेंट्स। So we are basically spoiled for choice. भैया
हम पानी के बोतल लेके आएंगे।
ठीक है। Our boatman has abandoned us with his boat, with us on his boat.
कल इसमें 2-4 और आएंगे। इसमें टाइगर आएगा, मैं रोज कोट आएगा।
ये रखिए।
So Kashmir, definitely for every non-vegetarian, is a heaven. I mean, they have whole wazwan, which is filled with so many dishes of good non-vegetarian food. What I particularly got surprised and I really enjoyed having was the street food in Srinagar. We went for a heritage walk, and right outside Khankai, the person who was taking us around made us taste this really nice mix of, you know, street food right off the vendor's tailor, and I would highly recommend you guys to go ahead and do it in case your gut is strong enough. I am a DU child. All my life I've eaten food from the streets, and I'm pretty sure of my gut, so I went ahead and ate it, and I really enjoyed it. Another thing which I would highly recommend for you guys to try are the locally baked breads. Apparently Afghani bakeries are very popular in the entire region of the valley, and we saw these really tiny quaint bakeries all across which would be baking fresh bread, and there are quite a variety of breads that you know we saw being baked, and I would definitely recommend for you to try a couple of them. Now coming to the wazwan, we did not go in for any traditional wazwan as such, but we went to the Taj Dal for a dinner, and there we ordered a couple of dishes from the wazwan. Quite frankly, I mean, they were good. They were definitely good, but it did not translate into an experience of a wazwan. So it was just like dining in a restaurant and eating dishes which they serve in the wazwan. The other thing which I really enjoyed were the innumerable cups of kava that we had. We had variety of kava. We had ready-made kava, we had homemade kava, we had kava with milk, and I also had noon chai, which was quite interesting. And yes, the kava is something which I think definitely substituted my cup of tea, and I really thoroughly enjoyed kava. Now, like I said, let's talk about shopping. Because of the heritage walk and because of a local friend living there, we knew of certain markets which were not the most touristy, like the Khayyam Chowk market. We went there and we shopped from this store called the Nayak store. They had some really good variety of apparel and bed covers, so that was a good experience. It was not a very touristy shop, it was just nice, and it was a nice market. The other thing which I thoroughly enjoyed was my visit to the Artisans home and the Artisans workshop. I have both the videos already in this playlist, so you can click the link in the description box to watch those videos. Now that I'm talking so much at this point, I would really request you to subscribe to my channel. It would mean so much to me. Now, the next thing which we are going to do is we're going to quickly talk about a couple of experiences that I would definitely want you to do. Heritage Walk is just such a culturally immersive experience. You will walk around the old town across Jhelum, see some really rustic architecture, vernacular houses. You will also see this beautiful mosque, the Khankai Mosque, the exterior of which is completely covered with handmade papier-mâché, and it's just really pretty. And even the Jama Masjid was so beautiful. Then we went to the spice markets and the copper markets in Srinagar, and I do not think I saw any single tourist in those markets. So what you see with the Heritage Walk is something really exclusive, and I highly recommend it. I'm going to be linking the person that I went to the Kashmir walks with. Now let me tell you one thing, I'm not saying that it's going to be information loaded. If it's a brief walk, it's just like 3 hours or 4 hours, but those 3 or 4 hours are really going to take you away from the touristy Srinagar and take you to the local Srinagar, to areas which are so untouched in the city in terms of no tourist footprints. So I would definitely recommend that. And the second thing which I would recommend is a shikara ride. Now everybody does shikara ride, but a shikara ride long enough for you to also ride post sunset. So start around 4:35 depending on winter or summer or which season you're in, but do experience the sunset on the Dal. It's like that. It's like molten silver, golden silhouettes, and you're floating on it. It's like being part of a painting. Definitely do the old canal in the Dal, which may smell a bit, but it's a beautiful experience. Again, not very touristy. We did that, and definitely a very memorable experience. And the last bit which I want to share with you is about Gurez. Area itself is beautiful, so untouched, so rustic.
आराम से पैर देख के amazing यार, imagine look how magical this place is looking from here. कितना हिल रहा था वो. आजा नीचे. अच्छा लग रहा है.
It does not have electricity throughout the day. You have community generators which provide electricity some 3-4 hours in a day. At least that was the case till April that I'd gone in, April 2022. It's just beginning to be talked about as a touristy destination when you discuss Kashmir, but otherwise it's totally untouched. The village is there, and if you want to see, I have 3 videos from Gurez Valley in this playlist, so do have a look. I definitely want to go back to Gurez before it becomes this massive tourist destination, which it will become if government continues to support it the way it is. Yes, so that was about Gurez. And lastly, but most importantly, I do not want to leave this video without talking of safety. Now, safety is such a subjective issue. What is safe for me as an individual traveler may not be safe for my friend who has 2 kids and aging parents who are also accompanying her. So safety is very subjective. Having said that, I do understand that people like us who are 90s teen, like we are biased towards understanding Kashmir and perceiving Kashmir as a very volatile area, and I did not feel that. When I went, I felt pretty safe in Srinagar and even in Gurez and even in any other area. There was army present, yes. That was a constant reminder that you are in Kashmir. But besides that, I think I felt very safe. Yes, there are incidences of attacks and killings, but things happen everywhere. But I definitely want you to know that my perception on Kashmir is very different from before going there to now when I visited the place, and I definitely felt safe traveling there. So on that note, I hope that I answered some of your questions. Please look into the playlist, and I'm sure that you will get a little more idea about the area that I visited. And if you like this video, if you find any value in any of my content, do consider subscribing, because I really want to continue doing it, and it would mean so much to me if I see your support, which can then help me make some money as well. So yes, on that note, I'm going to see you in the next video, and stay happy and stay healthy. Bye bye.